Now, once it a story of a young girl, a teenager that tried to kill herself because she felt that her dad had lost his job. Her boyfriend just broke up with her, so she felt that life was not worth living. So she tried to blow her head off with a gun. Fortunately, she survived and she was rushed to the hospital. But you know what actually caught my attention is the fact that on getting her to the hospital, she was conscious. So she was saying things like, I'm sorry about what I did. How's my mom? How's my dad? And things like that. For me, I felt what changed? You were trying to end your life because you felt it was not worth living, right? So eventually, she went through all the surgeries and everything. She even had to do facial transplant. And, hearing her speak in the interview that I watched, she was really enthusiastic and really happy to be alive, despite the fact that she had a deformed face and she had to go through all the medical procedures and everything. So I was wondering what actually changed. The problems were still there. The enemy tries to make a mountain out of a anthill. Seriously, because this lady felt life was not worth living. Then she was not disfigured. She was not in the hospital. She went through several surgeries. She had her face transplanted and stuff like that. That alone is enough to make someone depressed. But funny enough, she's not. She's actually happy to be alive. So what actually changed was, her perception. For me, the grammar they did too much at times. I will always say that depression is the enemy just trying to um, blow things out of proportion. The enemy just tends to give us this mindset that, hey, the worst has happened, or the world has ended, or and kiniko, oh. So he blows the problems around us out of proportion. He makes us feel like, okay, this is it. This is the worst that could happen. So someone might be wondering, how do I know what I'm talking about? Oh, it don't do me. It don't do me, seriously. I remember that season of my life, the problems I had then, they are still there. The problems are still there. They've not gone away. But I'm no longer depressed. The enemy just tends to mess with our minds. The enemy just tends to mess with our thoughts, because just wants to take away our joy. He just wants to see everybody down. And if he sees us down, he's happy because he knows that the joy of the Lord is our strength. So once we are depressed, we don't have joy. And if we don't have joy, we don't have strength. And that's what the enemy wants. In as much as, one is advised to go for therapy, one is advised to talk to people, one is advised to stay in the company of people, depression is demonic. It's from the pit of hell. The most important thing to do if you're going through depression, pray. Pray. If you don't know how to pray, tell people to pray for you. Even if you don't know how to pray, just say a word of prayer. Say, Holy Spirit, help me. I handled the case not quite long and it wasn't a good one. I remember telling this person in particular when the signs started popping up, I told her, watch it here, watch it here, watch it here. And she just probably she didn't understand what I was saying until she got neck deep into it. And she was like, how do I come out of this place? I said, I warned you when the enemy started. Because the truth of the matter is that depression builds. It starts with a thought of things are not going my way, a thought of things are not working out fine, a thought of this world is not, just like that. And then when you accommodate it, when you tolerate it, the enemy brings another one. Example I gave her was when a bird wants to build a nest, it doesn't just come with all the whatever it uses to build the nest. It comes to view the place first. You get, and if it feels like, okay, I'm not disturbed here, there's no problem, then you now go and bring one of those things, I don't know what it's called, and then you place it, and then it just keeps surveying the place to be sure that when it lays its egg, the eggs are going to be safe and nobody's going to trouble him or something. The enemy brings one thought and then he brings another thought and then he brings another thought. It's not up to us to, counter it when the enemy is just starting. You don't sit down and wait. I remember one time that the enemy was coming to play the same card with me. I remember one time the enemy was trying to play this card with me and I was like, hey, wait, let's talk about it. I was like, oh yeah, sit down, let's talk. I said, counting my problem. I said, I have this problem. I have this problem. I have this problem. I have this. By the time I was on, I was like, hey, devil, now money problem I get. Oh, I know they're depressed. If you're struggling with depression, you want to really outline what your problems are, what is actually triggering that depression. By the time you look at it closely, you find out that, okay, I have this problem, I have that problem. So, so you find out that I have this problem, I have that problem. You take it to the Lord. What are the solutions? The ones that you can fix, then you fix them. The ones the Lord wants to fix now, let Him fix them. And the other ones will have to wait. And you trust the Lord for that time when He will, show up for you. Don't let the enemy build a nest in your mind. Don't let the enemy build a nest in your thoughts. Fight it while it's still starting. Fight it when the enemy is still bringing it like ideas. That's when to fight it. Use everything you've got. Use the scriptures. Use everything. Use song. Use everything. Every arsenal at your disposal. Talk to people while the thing is still starting, so that it doesn't get to the point when it becomes clinical depression. I hope this video has blessed you. Please, I would like to hear your comments and your feedback on the comment section. God bless you.